talk about sales follow up? Because I know it's so important. I've seen all the infographics on how few people follow up and the percentages, and in my experience, that's been the case. I mean, it's been a very difficult thing. People have emotions. Sales reps, our ProLine sales reps, they're amazing. James does training every single day with them, but he also talks about, and I understand this with meeting other sales reps and other industries, is that sales reps can be a little divas. They're on top of the world, and then the world's against them. And so there's a lot of emotion there. Even if a top rep trained sales rep goes through the process, everything's there, and they don't close them. What is your belief system? What are you teaching about sales follow up, and how does that look?
So what we have found, and working with as many trainers, even because we like to find out what everybody else is seeing as well, and we share our findings with as many trainers that we work with. What we have found is that only 10% of companies nationwide actually even do follow up. If they don't close it there on the spot, then obviously the homeowner will give us a call back. That homeowner's not calling you back. What we also find when we do follow up is, I'm so glad you called me back. We need to move forward. Well, they weren't going to call me. I had to call them to get them, because everybody's busy and they're not thinking of their roof, siding, windows every second of the day. It's not, most of it isn't even on their to-do list. It's just something they're like, yeah, maybe someday I'll get those taken care of. So when we look at follow-up, it needs to be consistent. Everything that we do, consistency wins. If we just took everything inside of our organization and we were consistent with it, we would win every day. But we don't do that because we get busy. Other things happen. We react too much. And so if we consistently follow up, well, there's only one way that you're going to consistently follow up. So you hire somebody and that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
And when follow up is their job, what you're going to see is that is one of the highest paid people in your organization, because they're dealing with people that you already sold on an appointment. You just haven't sold them on your product yet. The fact that we've already been out and they're willing to take your phone call, they're willing to answer your questions, they can be closed. We instruct many different ways of doing follow-up based on our coaching, because again, we're coaches first, trainers second. So we're going to coach you based on what it is that you are able to do and want to do. There are some people where we will move that destroyer, completely turn it around. And when I say turning a destroyer around, doing an inside outside sales model is the best model. No one's going to tell me different, that an inside outside model is the best model. That is by far the best. The problem is it takes so much to turn your company around to where you're going to have an inside sales rep, not a CSM, but an inside sales rep and an outside sales rep, and they work together to close the deal. So really quick, that model, without getting too far in the weeds with it, is that inside sales rep sells the fact that that product or that the homeowner, that's what they want to do, and that I'm going to send an outside sales rep out, and they're going to sell the outside sales rep. They're going to sell how great that person is. Now, when that outside sales rep gets there, they're going to sell the inside sales rep on how great that was, how great that interaction was. And then they're going to try and sell the job. But if they can't sell the job, they're not going to burn the house down, as we used to say back in the day. They're going to line it up for the inside sales rep again. So they're going to pass it back over so that the outside sales rep can always keep paying attention and they're always forward facing. The inside sales rep, they're the ones that deal with the pool of homeowners that haven't done business with us yet. They're sitting in a cubicle, an office, whatever, and they're working hard, and that's the only thing they do. Don't take an office personnel and make them an inside sales rep. That person is the only thing that they do. Same thing is if you are going to go the sales liaison route. Now, a sales liaison, what this is where you have the typical sales process. You have a CSM, they set up the appointment, the outside rep goes out. And again, if that outside sales rep can't sell the job, then it goes to the sales liaison that follows up and tries to close it. Now, people might say, what's the difference? Well, this is a rehashed department. And they're just going to take that job, and the sales rep doesn't have to worry about it anymore. That the rehash department is just going to take the job and start working it. And then a rehash rep goes out and sells it. So it's a different team, it's a different department that it goes to. So again, there's a lot depending on us. An organization will depend on how we instruct them to follow up. Now, there's the smaller organizations that they don't have that set up. So now a sales rep, and I'm trying not to laugh, a sales rep will actually follow up. They're not going to, but
Yeah.
we do instruct them to, and we try to automate using ProLine. We can automate a lot of that follow up.